God dang it. Oh no. Okay. We're still pretty gapped. Wow, this guy's good at dodging lava. Oh no. I should have kept shooting. Okay. Yeah. Okay, GG, finally.
Race, and in this case they just all went across Europe, and whoever goes the furthest before they have to land wins. And obviously you can't top up the hydrogen, you can only just let off weight, so that's how the race works, you see. And it's almost a bit of a blinking contest. It's, you know, who's going to blink first, and they all just go for it. And Janet broke a world record on one of them for women balloonists. Her and another woman broke the distance record for women.
I should have.
But on this particular one I went to, I went and waited, and I watched them all leave, which was an amazing sight. I made a video of it. I'll put some links in the show notes for people who want to watch these. But on that particular race, one of the balloons went missing, and the people in it died. They got into a storm and couldn't get out and plunged into the ocean. So it's not without risk. And of course, everyone's always seen these famous videos of the ones that catch fire. And it's not good PR for balloons, but I think they're pretty safe.
I'm very surprised to hear you say that there are still balloons that use hydrogen, because of course The only thing I can think of is the Hindenburg. I thought, oh, didn't we stop with the hydrogen at that point?
This is quite specialised. This isn't like touristy stuff. This is a very special race for the pros, you know. Cool race.
Still, though, a gigantic sack of hydrogen. Wouldn't want to be in a lightning storm flying in one of those.
No, they think that's what happened to those people who died, but I don't know how it was resolved.
Would they do balloons on air crash investigation? Does somebody write up whatever it is, the PCRB reports that you like so much?
I'm sure I don't know. I've never read a hot air balloon crash investigation report, but I'm sure the NTSB does investigate them, so.
Yeah, it's aviation, right? Someone has to write a report.
I imagine it's them. I don't know for sure.
You've never seen a hot air balloon on air crash investigators?
I don't believe I have. One thing that I did want to talk to you about from all of this is it did occur to me while I was watching all these balloon photos what a fabulous advertising billboard hot air balloons are. I think they're a great way to advertise. Most of them, I think, are sponsored by companies. Smart hot air balloonists get some company to pay for the balloon and have their name on it, and they've got a toy to play with for the next 5 years, and the company's got a big flying advert for the next 5 years.
Oh.
But I think they're a wonderful advert or public relations machines, hot air balloons. Because who doesn't love them? There's nothing but goodwill towards them. Everyone loves... Exactly. I mean, it was a genius public relations move by the University of Nottingham to give Janet the money for her balloon, because she travelled all around the world with it. You know, there it was flying over the Swiss Alps. In fact, on that first few days it flew, I took a photograph of it flying over the Swiss Alps, just with my normal camera. And I'm no award-winning photographer, but when you've got a hot air balloon in mountains, you almost can't go wrong. I took this photo and thought nothing of it. And a couple of years later, I was in the office of the Vice-Chancellor of the university, and there's a huge framed picture of the balloon flying over the mountains, and I was in the waiting room waiting to meet him, and I was like, that's bloody my photo. I don't know how it ended up with him. I don't know who got it. I obviously gave it to the university to use, and it got blown up to the sort of the size of a window and framed.
I was gonna say you didn't burst into his office and accuse him of copyright infringement. That wasn't gymnast action.
No. It was pretty much mostly black, and so it could absorb all the heat to heat up the air, to keep it in the air.
Oh, clever.
And you would have loved how it looked. It was like a kind of, I don't know, it just looked cool. It looked badass.
Did you get a picture of it?
I didn't see it the day I was there, but I've seen some video of it, so we'll dig some pictures up to show people. It was made by Cameron Balloons, I believe, if you're doing a search for it.
I am. You can't tell when I'm typing now because I don't have my clicky keyboard.
Oh no, I can tell, don't worry.
Oh yeah, you can still tell.
Big time.
Oh, okay. I see this one. This one. Yeah. So it has the stripe. It's asymmetrical a little bit, black on one side, white on the other.
It's cool looking.
It is very cool looking. It's very cool looking. Interesting.
It does have burners on board in case of, the sun getting blocked and things. By law, it has to have burners as well to heat up the air.
It has burners on board in case of clouds. I certainly would hope so.
Yeah.
Even the world of hot air balloons has technological progress within it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's move on from hot air balloons. What do we got in the follow-up list here? Let me have a look.
I think you wanted to talk about how wrong I was on the internet.
You were wrong on the internet. I mean, surely you should know by now. You should never state something as a fact on the podcast, because everyone will immediately go and look. And if it is not a fact...
You're going to hear about it. But again, this I thought was funny. We're talking now about the neutral video that we mentioned offhandedly last time, as having down being slightly off.
Yeah.
And the thing that's interesting to me about this is I feel, okay, I make these YouTube videos that lots of people watch, and I will have little errors in those videos, and I hear way less about errors in my videos now than I do an offhanded remark, which I'm clearly not even backing on the podcast. I said, I was just speculating idly that maybe this was hard-coded into YouTube because I'd never seen it be different, and holy God, have I heard from people about how it's different. So it does seem that your speculation is correct, that it is community-powered and not hard-coded, which is impressive because there are many of these videos around YouTube, and it seems that almost all of them are within 5 or so always of being the same on thumbs up and thumbs down.
Gray, nerds are diligent.
Nerds are diligent. There are probably a few people watching them with with OCD, making sure to keep it even as much as possible.
Yeah. So another little piece of follow-up was something I forgot to tell you about, which was a nice little story. Let's talk about airports for a second.
Okay.
You were having a moan about your airport you hate so much, Dulles.
I do love a good moan about an airport.
Yeah, especially Dulles.
Yeah, really, I do love a good moan about Dulles, is actually what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There are many nice airports that I travel to, about which I say nothing, but I will talk endlessly about Dulles, which I hate.
I wonder if like the head of publicity and public relations at Dulles Airport gets like a chill down their spine every time a new Hello Internet is released.
Yeah, he has a Google alert out that searches the Hello Internet page for mentions of Dulles to know if he needs to go into PR damage mode.
Yeah.
I didn't even talk last time about the birds that were flying from Dulles. It was just like, oh, there's too much to complain about. I can't even mention everything that happens every time I go.
They're in a committee meeting right now saying, how much are we going to pay this grey guy to shut him up? Today's episode is brought to you by... Brady, you're going to have to read this one.
Dulles Airport, I will not accept your advertising dollars. If Dulles Airport wants to give us money for a PR spot, you would have to read that one, I think. And I'd charge them double.
You'd take the money, you just wouldn't do the read.
Yeah, I think maybe that would even be better.
Let me tell you about an airport. Well, actually, it is kind of a problem for the airport, but it wasn't a problem for me, and it became a wonderful experience.
Okay.
When I arrived at Marrakesh, passport control first, and there were lots of people standing around, as there often are at these airports in exotic countries, the culture of which I don't understand. Lots of people standing around, none of them seem to be doing any work, except for one guy who was stamping passports. And because we were at the front of the queue, we got straight through. We were first ones through, absolute breeze. And I think behind